Good evening. Good evening. Cindy Baker, ADHD productivity coach. And it's another episode of Monday Night Live. We've got a great topic tonight. And so if you are jumping on live, if you could say hi in the chat, that would be awesome. I'm going to do a little tech check here, make sure I'm streaming. Okay. So let me know if you can see and hear me, or if you can see me and can't hear me. Let me know that. Whatever platform you are watching this on, I encourage you to take advantage of the chat. Even if you're watching the replay, because I do go back and read those comments and respond. And so if you have any questions or aha moments or just anything that resonates with you, let's keep that chat active. And so when you do jump on, just say hi, let us know where you're tuning in from. And we're going to talk about adulting with ADHD. You know, we sort of laugh about that word adulting that was kicked around a few years ago. And it basically, I think, just means taking responsibility for your own life as opposed to expecting your parents to take care of it. So it'd be kind of like age 25 on. And adulting with ADHD, why is it so hard sometimes? That's our topic. So whether you have a person living in your home in their 20s, or if you yourself are 20 all the way on up to 80, whatever, and you have ADHD, or maybe you just have those symptoms, this is for you. Challenges and solutions, developmental milestones in adult ADHD is something that you don't read a lot about. It's not just a childhood disorder. It's a lifelong condition. For most people, it changes in presentation through the stages of adulthood, getting married, starting a family, moving up the career ladder, maybe changing jobs, moving, managing a home. And for adults with ADHD, navigating these milestones successfully is not just a given. They have to, it requires specific developmental skills. Things like harnessing focus and attention on demand. That's necessary to be productive at work and at home, where there's so many distractions to undercut your efforts. And they need skills for things like building reminder and scheduling systems. That helps adults keep track of things, doctor appointments, meetings, school events, work deadlines, all of life's to-do items that you have. And without a system, the information rattling around in an ADHD brain can and often does cause overload. Am I right? So let me know in the chat if any of you relate to that. Estimating and managing time is another issue for not only yourself, but also your children. That becomes a daily chore in adulthood. And mastering schedules makes the difference between, your kid catching the bus or something ruining your whole day, right? Another issue that they struggle with, adults with ADHD, is managing and mastering emotional regulation. Learning how to recognize and deal with out of proportion disappointment, irritability, anger, sadness, and excitement too. That's a key to relationship health and longevity. And those are skills that have to be learned. They need to be able to devise physical organization systems, organizational skills for managing bills, mail, clutter, email, all of life's stuff. That's not easy, but it can mean the difference between wasting a Saturday looking for an overdue bill or using the slush in your budget for a well-deserved treat, right? So adult ADHD does mean that getting organized in managing emotions managing money, managing time. It can be difficult. All of those things that I mentioned earlier are things that I go into detail in my coaching program. So when I do these little Monday Night Live things, this is just, well, there's a couple of reasons that I can only give you the highlights, and that's because there's not enough time to really go into depth. These are just little Monday night training videos. And the other reason is that I do have a coaching program, and I want people to join it. It's a paid coaching program. And my thought is, it's kind of like when you go to like Costco and they give you a sample of something, they let you taste it, and you're like, ooh, I really like that. If the taste was so good, then I wonder what it'd be like to buy that product. So I'm kind of hoping that by giving you some highlights, that you would be curious enough to want to chat with me about how I can help you further, because it's going to be difficult for you to take these tips and just implement them on your own, because there's so much more to it. So I just throw that out there to let you know that I'm going to do the best I can, but it's really just the highlights. So the thing with adulthood, ADHD symptoms that have been effectively managed, sometimes even for decades, can just feel out of control if you have a major life adult change, like starting a family or changing jobs. And to manage the ADHD effect on your aging brain and your complicated life, you need some strategies, right? So I'm going to give you, again, some highlights. Each one of these has its own training in my coaching program. So the first one is to work in 20 to 25-minute bursts with short breaks in between. And the breaks are important. When random thoughts sidetrack your focus, you write them down on a I use like a little spiral notebook. It's a little one, and you write them down in a separate place for later, so that you can just go back to focusing. Use budget tools. Use, even if you need to chew gum or something like that, just to keep you focused. The Pomodoro method is a great way to regulate this, if you've ever used that before. But 25-minute bursts where you can fully focus for a short period of time with no distractions, and then you physically stand up and take a break, 5-minute break. You have to set a timer, and instead of trying to just barrel through until you collapse, do the 25 minutes. Even if you feel like at the end of 25 minutes you were just getting going, stop. And that will train your brain that, hey, I've only got 25 minutes and I've got to focus sooner. It really works. So if you have not tried that, I encourage you to try that. And we have working memory deficits, those of us with ADHD. So to compensate for that, you need to put all your important information in writing. You need to put it in your calendar, your planner, sticky notes, apps, emails, other tools. It can't be, you can't rely on your brain to hang on to that information. You can automate tasks so that you don't have to remember it. Automate bill paying, for example, things like that. You just have to make sure you have the money in there when the bill comes out, right? And set reminders for recurring events. For example, I would never remember to give my dog the heartworm medicine once a month if I didn't have it on my calendar. So reminders for everything. Write it all down. The less places you have it written down in, the better. I always recommend one planner. I like a paper planner. Digital's fine if you're into that. Sometimes I use both because I have to use Outlook for work. But one place where everything goes. And you need a budget, a financial budget, and to just create a simple budget. If you don't do this, and we're talking about your personal budget. If you have a business, you need a business budget as well. But note your take-home pay and then subtract your monthly expenses. It's that simple. Your rent, your mortgage, electricity, cable, heat, water, groceries, miscellaneous, and then schedule payment due dates. I use online banking, and it's easy for me to I pay the bill. I like still to get the paper bills and have an accordion file with the days of the month. And once I schedule the payment to come out at a certain time on my online banking, I write that date on the bill, circle it, and write paid, and put it in the accordion file. And that gives me a way to know that I've paid that bill. So you can set up automatic payments, manage all that. If there's any remaining income, manage it by using tracking apps. There are all kinds of those out there on the internet. Curb your impulse shopping urge by carrying little to no cash. Cash just tends to fall out of your pocket. Not physically, but you know what I mean. Whole lot more. Again, I go into detail with that in the coaching program. So just hitting some highlights. Another thing to chip away at piles of stuff, which is something ADHD people struggle with. Categorize items, create rules for them. Like example, all magazines and catalogs go in the recycle box. Have a place for everything. Set a timer and limit your work to small areas. Use baskets or clear containers. Clear containers are great because you can see what's inside. You label them. Sustainable organization, something that it's not so crazy that you're not going to be able to stick with it. Consider hiring an ADHD coach or professional organizer to help you stay organized. In the coaching program, we have a 4-part series on conquering clutter, help you go through your house room by room, help you get over the overwhelm, know where to start. A lot more we could say about clutter, but you've got to get on top of that because it can drown you. All the stuff, it makes it really difficult, if not impossible, to focus. And I mentioned emotional regulation problems. To combat that emotional dysregulation. Anticipate stressors, know what's coming that's going to be stressful for you, and practice self-regulation when you can't avoid the stressful situation. For example, pause, name your feelings. What am I feeling right now? I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling afraid. I'm feeling pressured, whatever. And then practice this. And this is not woo-woo stuff. It's scientific. Just practice a 2-minute deep breathing exercise. When you're feeling anger or frustration welling up, 2 minutes doesn't sound like a long time, but it is a long time when you're doing it right. When you just breathe in for 4 breaths, breathe out for 4 breaths, very slowly. And you set a timer and you do that for 2 minutes, and you'll be amazed at how much more in control of your feelings that you are. And nobody has to know what you're doing. And just get into the habit of that. Get into the habit of pausing and then not letting your emotions run away with you. So ruminating, don't live things over and over again. Just grieve it, deal with it, move on. Give yourself a 5-minute time to get upset about it. And then the upset is over in 5 minutes, move on. Because a lot of adults with ADHD struggle with this, and therapists use cognitive behavioral therapy a lot to help ADHD people, help them identify distorted, unreasonable thoughts, and then how to reframe things in a more positive light. Provide, they give productive tools for dealing with your emotions. But you will need to get a grip on that if you want to be a successful adult with ADHD. And by the way, if you're just jumping on, say hi in the chat, whatever platform you're watching this on. And if you're watching the replay, do that as well. Just say #replay and let me know your thoughts, because I do go back and read those. And I can't always see all the comments when I'm doing this. So keep that chat active. Now, kind of along with emotions, when tensions run high in your relationships, it's a good idea, if possible, to remove yourself temporarily from the situation by taking a walk, take a drive, and then return when you're calmed down. Practice accountability. Talk openly about your difficulties with your partner when appropriate, and apologize for mistakes. But above all, communicate. Outsmarting ADHD, that's a lifelong balancing act. It's a fine-tuning act that takes lots of skills, lots of training and practice. But often ADHD people also use medication, but almost never medication alone. I always say pills are not skills. Pills, that's up to you and your doctor. I don't give medical advice. But if you're on medication, you can't just say, well, I'm on medicine, and then never develop any skills. The most effective treatment plans include behavior interventions as well. ADHD coaching. More and more therapists and doctors are recommending ADHD coaching as part of a treatment plan. Exercise is one of the best things you can do for your ADHD. It lifts your mood, but it also helps you focus. Sleep. Your brain repairs itself during sleep. You've got to prioritize sleep. Healthy eating. If you need to get accommodations in your workplace, maybe you need to look into that. And, with the medicine, some people, if they want to be able to focus all day at work, they'll consider extended release formulas. So if you're on medicine, you need to possibly revisit your medication choice, the dosage, the timing. You need to talk to your doctor about that. Maybe the medicine that you had growing up needs to change now that you're an adult. You might have hormone changes. You might have weight changes, things like that might cause a medication to not be as effective. So you want to talk to your doctor about that before, about making any kind of midlife medication adjustments, and then consider augmenting your meds with cognitive behavioral therapy if you're going to a therapist to, disarm and replace the negative thinking patterns that's causing all those chronic problems, or an ADHD coach, or both. That's also one of the things that I do, is the talk about identifying negative thinking patterns, that I call them thinking traps, and then how to untangle ourselves from those so that we can move forward, how to not be stuck. So all of these things are important. If you want to thrive with your ADHD, you're going to need, there's so many areas of your life affected by ADHD, and you're going to need to develop some skills, some new habits, some new structures that maybe you haven't looked into before. And so, again, shameless plug, I have a great group coaching program. It's newly revamped. It's called the ADHD Success Blueprint, Ultimate ADHD Success Blueprint. program. And so it's 6 months long, and it covers all of these things and more. We have Zoom calls for accountability and support. You get email access to me. You get a VIP Facebook group. You get access to a knowledge vault full of tons of valuable training videos and materials. And it's just a great program. So if that's something that interests you, please reach out to me so that we can find out if it's a good fit for you. It's not for everybody, and it's by application only, or chatting with me. You can't just sign up online. I have to make sure that it's the right fit for you and that you feel good about your choice. I want you to move forward with confidence when you join my program. So that's something that interests you. I'd love to chat with you. I hope this gave you a little bit of Monday motivation to maybe take at least just one area of your life this week and try to develop some skills and strategies that will help you be more organized, more productive, less stressed, get more done, more of the right things done, and feel good about yourself at the end of the day. So again, I'm Cindy Baker, ADHD productivity coach, and I hope you have a fabulous Monday. I'll see you next time. Bye.